This is Excel 2016 Module 4, Part 10. In this particular segment, we are going to be looking at conditional formatting using the data bars option within Excel. This is our last segment for Module 4. I need you to go back into your Backspace workbook, and I need you to go to the Market Summary worksheet and get so that you can see the range C5 through D10. That's the range of cells we will be working with for this form of conditional formatting. So the first thing we need to do is highlight that range, C5 through D10. And we're going to go up to our Home tab and find the Conditional Formatting button. You'll recall we've used this button before to highlight certain things, use top and bottom rules. This time we're going to be using data bars. Now with data bars, you really need to be careful and make sure you read the question carefully and then hover over the options so that you pick the correct one. So gradient views, you can see how the color changes as it goes across the cell. If it's a gradient fill. If it's a solid fill, it keeps the color consistent. You can also see the different color options if you hover over these. We have blue, orange, green. This one is called light blue. This one is called red. So red, if you visually look at it, could easily be mistaken here as orange. Orange could be mistaken for yellow. And pink or purple, I think this looks like pink. They call it purple. So you really need to hover over these, make sure they say what you are being given as the instructions. We are asked for this one to use the gradient fill, which means we need this top group, and we want the green data bars. So we'll choose that option. So you can see what it does. It fills in the bars for us to show the proportions. So if I look at this, what it has done is it's found the largest value in this range of cells, 97, and it filled that cell in as 100%. Every other cell is created the fill based on the proportion of the number. So 81 out of 97, the men's box is slightly less. You can see that they're all in proportion to that top answer of 97 women. So if we want to change that, we can go in and we can make changes to this rule. So we're going to select all the cells that we used for data bars. And you're going to go back up to the conditional formatting option. And you're going to come all the way down here to where it says Manage Rules. So with Manage Rules, you have several options. You can click on a rule and delete it if you no longer want it there. You could create new rules here, but I think it's easier to create them just by highlighting them and using the options from the ribbon. And you can edit them. Now, one thing to keep in mind with conditional formatting when you're using it in homework is you can apply more than one rule to the same group of cells. So if you do your conditional formatting like let's say we did here. I'm going to close this and show you the example. And then I have this same range selected, and it said, really, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to highlight the values that were greater than that number. It now has both rules applied to that same range. So you could have more than one rule applied, and even if the second rule was done correctly, the grader is still going to mark it wrong because it sees this old rule there that you never got rid of. So if I realized I did this one wrong, I can click on it and delete that rule so that there's only one rule available. So that is one thing you can do. The next thing you can do is you can edit a rule. So we're going to edit our data bar rule. It's showing us the automatic settings, the colors. We have it in a gradient fill. The border is solid. One thing here, if I check this box that says show the bars only, then the numbers will no longer be visible in the cell. It will only be the bars. Now let's say I decided I wanted the top number to be 120 instead of whatever value is the highest value. So instead of having my maximum set as automatic, I can come in here and say that it is a number, and I can specify the number that I want. So I'm going to say 120. Once I have that done, I can go ahead and click OK. And you will see when I click OK the second time, it will remove the rule that I deleted and make the appropriate change to the other rule. So now all of those bars are in proportion to the value of 120 instead of in proportion to 97. So that is editing and creating your conditional formatting rules. So again, if you have a conditional rule being marked wrong on the homework, always open up. Oops, my current selection is in this cell and there are no rules. So I'm going to select that range. Always open up the Manage Rules and double check that there are not multiple rules for that same range of cells. And then you can delete any of your older rules that you did not need. That concludes Module 4.